What's up, everyone? It's Andy Singer with Climate Realism. So, we've all heard the claims before that climate change is going to lead towards millions of refugees fleeing their nations, traveling the globe, looking for somewhere to settle that isn't being damaged by catastrophic climate change. I've heard it, and here's actually a few quotes just to show this is a real thing. In 1989, a senior UN official said, "Entire nations could be wiped off the face of the earth by rising sea levels if the global warming trend is not reversed by the year 2000. Here's another one. This comes from 2005. Rising, and from the UN as well. Rising sea levels will create up to 50 million environmental refugees by the end of the decade. So first off, that didn't happen. 2010 happened. We didn't have 50 million refugees. Also, I don't think entire nations have been wiped off the face of the earth. But okay, look. So this is a real thing, this whole climate change leading to refugees argument. Now, they have three main things they point towards that are going to create these refugees. Here they are. 1. Increasing crop failures. 2. Catastrophic weather events. And 3. Islands lost to rising seas. So look, point number 1 is easy to refute, and I've done it many times. Like, the number of times I've talked in the past about how crop yields are increasing across the globe in both rich and poor nations alike. So it's not linked towards better technology in rich nations. It's happening everywhere. As the Earth has modestly warmed, we've seen an increase in crop yields. Here's a graph from the UN Food and Agriculture Organization. Let's check it out. All right, so this graph shows cereal production, utilization, and stocks. But really what we're just interested in is production. Now, what this basically tracks is the three major crops, which is rice, corn, and wheat. So if you follow the orange line, which is production, we can see that it's increased drastically from the 2009-2010 years on the left side of the graph towards the 2019-2020 forecast on the right side of the graph. The point of this is that food production is not falling, and it's generally due to increasing crop yields across the globe. So the second claim has to do with an increase in natural disasters. Here's another chart for you. So what you're looking at comes from the United Nations report, The Human Cost of Disasters. What it does is measures the geophysical, hydrological, meteorological, and climatological disasters that have happened since the year 2000. So you can see that overall it varies a bit, but if you actually put a trend line on this, you can see that it's decreased over the last 20 years. So overall, we're not seeing an increase in climate-related disasters in any way. We're seeing a slight decrease. Finally, there's the claim that sea level rise will cause islands to submerge, forcing people to flee towards other nations. Now, what these people fail to tell you is this. As sea level gradually rises, it actually brings sand and sediment along with it, building up the heights of these islands as sea level slowly rises. So these islands aren't actually getting submerged at all. And if anything, if you look at the population of many Pacific islands, which is generally where people who make this argument look towards, it's increasing, not decreasing. So human behavior doesn't actually support their assertion. Before I end this video, I just want to leave you with some key takeaways and summarize what I've just said. So here it is. 1. As the Earth modestly warms, there's been a reduction in climate-related refugees. That's probably the most important thing you can take from this video, because it's all about climate refugees, and as the Earth has modestly warmed, we've seen less. So that's pretty much the key takeaway. But continuing, the asserted causes for climate refugees, which I've been covering, are failing to occur. Let me just briefly go over those. So 3, almost all nations asserted to shed refugees due to crop failures are actually seeing an increase in crop yields and production. That's incredibly important. 4, the United Nations confirms that climate-related disasters have been declining this century. And finally, 5, a majority of islands predicted to shed climate refugees due to sea level rise are growing, not shrinking. So overall, the claim that we're going to see 50 million... Actually, let me go back for those earlier quotes. In 1989, the UN official said, "Entire nations could be wiped off the face of the earth by rising sea levels if the global warming trend is not reversed by the year 2000. That did not occur. And in 2005, the UN official said, "Rising sea levels will create up to 50 million environmental refugees by the end of the decade." That also did not occur. So again, these are just more claims that are, I don't want to use the word propaganda here, but I don't know what other word to use, generally to scare you into accepting overbearing climate regulation. Now, why they want you to accept that climate regulation, we will cover that. And if anything, I'd like to hear what you all think in the comments about that. But overall, this is just more scare tactics used to push this regulation on you. It's Andy with the Heartland Institute, bringing you more from climaterealism.com. Peace. Thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe to our channel and consider donating to the Heartland Institute to support more vibrant free markets, greater individual liberties, and more videos like this one.